Welcome to week 9. We are here. TNF Thursday night football countdown. Are you excited? Because I'm not. This game has the Ravens at -7.5. Always not something you're looking for. That's too big of a spread. However, they do have the over-under at 50.5. Very curious to see how that works out. I'm definitely taking the under if Lamar is playing. I just don't see that score getting this high. I also am taking the Ravens -7.5. It's too big of a spread. I can't bring myself to do it. So starting it off easy, and the other thing I definitely want to do is play Derrick Henry. So that's where we're starting. Appreciate y'all coming in. Get your questions asked, and I will get them answered the best I can. Starting off with AW. Bam Knight, Chase Brown, Tracy, or Worthy. Start one in PPR. So normally it would be Chase Brown, but with the uncertainty of Flacco, he did get boosted up to a limited participant in practice today. That's a big plus. But as of right now, I still have Bam Knight the highest of this group. And so that is where I would be leaning. I think he just gives you the safest play. I'm very curious. Again, we talked about it in depth last night among Tracy and Bam between Neil and I couldn't bring myself to do it. So I'm still sticking with Bam. I have him higher. I know it's riskier, but I really think he's the benefactor in such a great matchup. And unless Tracy's catching all the dump offs like Neil expects, I'm not willing to trust it. BZ, do I pick up Tua or roll with Flacco? Since we don't know if Flacco's playing, you kind of have to go with Tua. Another quarterback I would actually be looking for is Trevor Lawrence. I think that's another good pickup this week as a potential streamer. Surprisingly, this week there's a lot of quarterbacks that I have rated highly that you could probably easily be picked up and played. Again, I kind of doubt a lot of people got him because Sam Darnold would be the one that I'd be willing to roll out probably the rest of the season pretty comfortably. So that's kind of where I'm leaning. So if Flacco's play, would he play Brown over or Still Knight? If Flacco plays, yes, I would then go to Brown because it's PPR, and I expect them to use him more in the passing game. You've kind of seen his uptick with Flacco as compared to Browning, and I can't risk that. So, but yeah, definitely something important. Definitely worth noting because, again, he was upgraded to a limited. With the AC joint, it's not really something you want to deal with as a quarterback. There's a lot of risk involved there. Mountain Dew, still not a sponsor, but man, I love it. You're welcome, AW. All right. Let's see. Anything else I'm playing tonight? I'm okay playing Waddle just due to pure volume. I'm also, of course, you can't get away from Achane. Outside of that, Baltimore defense. That's another thing I would play tonight. The rest of it, I'm terrified of. Looking at Tua, I currently have Tua at my quarterback 20. So, granted, Flacco is currently above him. Just in case he does play, I can kind of pivot that up higher, but I'm really doubtful of that as an option. What else? I think that's everything that I would play tonight. Again, I'm just really confident in the play of Henry. I really think he's going to be a solid one. The other option with Lamar back, I'm also very curious to see how Likely does, because I do think there's a lot of potential upside for sure with that. And so I'd much rather roll with that as an option. Mike Trout, Zay Likely, or Colson Loveland. That's interesting. I think you still go with Loveland because it doesn't look like Komet's going to play. I think he logged another limited practice today. Yeah, so he's been limited Wednesday and Thursday. It's definitely something to watch, but since you're not sure, I think even if he does come back, it will still be Loveland. I like the idea of likely, but I really want to see how it works out. I expect him to get a big boost with Lamar back, and end up taking more targets from Andrews, as Andrews has kind of been already floated out as a potential trade target for other teams. So Glitchy, that I'm not as sold on. I think he will be fine, but with how he's played this year, the idea of playing Flowers still makes me nervous. This isn't the game where I'd expect a massive Flowers game. I mean, he's had what, 4? Well, I guess 5. He's had 5 good weeks this year, which isn't bad in PPR. But this is one of them that makes me a little more nervous, just because I do expect, with it getting colder, that Henry's going to really take it to him. So you're really hoping that he sees a lot of volume, and I just can't quite bring myself to believe in that. I still have him rated pretty highly. I still have him as a, let me see, I think it's a wide receiver 3. Might be a 2. Currently, Flowers is at... So I guess it's a wide receiver 2. I have him at 16, but even that's iffy because of all the people in front of him currently, and the people behind him that could go in front of him. That's, again, due to a variety of different things, including, for example, Flacco. If Flacco's healthy, Higgins moves in front of him. I'm still iffy on, like, if Nico's a full go, so he probably needs to move up as well, but it's Denver. I still don't believe that. Higgins would go up. Now with potentially Hunter dealing with injury, BTJ could get up in front of him. I still have Allen in front of him. Robinson's right there. Like, there's a lot of people that are right around Flowers that I trust a little more, but that's also just due to the fact that it comes down to, looking at Hunt, Sharp, or Kincaid. No, at that point, yes, I would still be playing Flowers, especially in any kind of PPR. I do like the idea of Hunt. Hunt has moved up quite a bit for me, just because it really doesn't look like Pacheco's going to go. And if that's the case, it's going to be very difficult for me to not have Hunt as a starting running back for your team. Let me see. I'm projecting Hunt to start and play, and I have him currently at a low RB2. He's at 19 for me, so I guess that's 7, 8 into the RB2, but definitely is probably starting for you. Yeah, I'm hoping he does. I mean, he should be just fine. I'm really nervous that, as I said last night, if, for example, Lamar only has to throw 24 times and Flower sees 30% of the targets, you're looking at 8. And if he catches all of them, that's great. But if he doesn't, I mean, even at 6, you're probably happy with the score. You ended up with probably a 12 without him scoring, and that's a decent number. But when it comes to running backs, you really drive off a cliff very quickly. Speaking of it, again, Stevenson's not practicing today. That's another thing that makes me super nervous. I don't like that as an option. Trying to see if anything else has been ruled out. Jalen Wright, no surprise there. The rookie, well, I guess not rookie, second-year player remains sidelined. And he probably will be the rest of the year. I don't know why I keep putting him in rankings, but he is. All right. Well, if you have your questions, please ask. Otherwise, remember to like and subscribe. I will be here again tomorrow. We have the betting show, and then, of course, Sunday we have. I'll be here for a full hour ahead of kickoff, answering all the start-sit questions. Also, tomorrow is Halloween. Please be safe, and more importantly, Sunday, it will be an hour. It's fallback. So if you're in a state that still has daylight savings time, like me in Kansas, you will be falling back an hour, so you get an extra hour of sleep allegedly. But everything starts to get darker and it gets worse. So, other things to remember. That is this weekend. All right. Well, while nobody's asking questions, the other things I want to bring up are, because I remember Daniel bringing it up and Tamara kind of asking about it, I'm going to bring up kid-appropriate Halloween movies that I enjoy. Casper is always number one. I absolutely loved Christina Ricci. She was one of my favorite crushes back in the day, especially in that movie specifically. Just something about her. Always thought she was extremely attractive. Next, of course, it's going to be Hocus Pocus, because I'm a millennial, and that's how that works out. However, I will go to a more recent one in Coco, and then finally Halloween Town. It might be a little scary at points for kids under, I'd probably say 9, but more or less it's silly and light, and I enjoy it. Now we get to good scary movies. Scary movies that I absolutely loved, that also have good storylines. Get Out is a good one. I love Hush. It's about a deaf girl who lives in the woods and has someone break into her house, and it's crazy. Host, and of course, A Quiet Place. Then we go into what everybody really wants, the bad scary movies. So they're bad, somewhat good, or I don't know. It can go either way. It really depends on you. So my favorite, of course, is going to be Idle Hands. It's one I bring up every year. I really enjoy the movie. It's kind of dirty, but always cracks me up and extremely funny. Then we move into Paris Hilton Land and see House of Wax, Homecoming, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey is another one that is surprisingly bad. If you want to count Thanksgiving, or I think it's still called Thanksgiving. That was another bad one. Premonition, An American Werewolf in Paris. You're going kind of back old school with that one, but again, really, that was one of the staples of my childhood. I had nightmares of werewolves being on fans and everything else, and so that was definitely one of the ones that was right there. Urban Legends is another one I'm going to bring up. It came out around the same time as I Know What You Did Last Summer, but it dealt with a bunch of urban legends, and I think there's calls to it that kind of showed up, and I Know What You Did Last Summer, but I'm not sure if that was on purpose or not. Then When a Stranger Calls, and finally another one that I ended up staying up late and watching randomly, Lawnmower Man. And if you want another new one that's just random and out there, Ready or Not is weird, and it's bad, scary movie that I was able to live through. So it's not horrible, but I actually think it was. I think a lot of people would enjoy it as a bad, somewhat good scary movie. Doesn't have the jump scares that you normally expect, but okay. Well, I don't see any other questions coming in, so I'm going to get out of here. I hope you all come in tomorrow, get in the betting show, support Mason Vishal, and then I will be back Sunday, 12 p.m. Eastern, 11 Central, here answering your questions for a full hour up until kickoff. But as always, good luck, and remember to be safe, and as always, keep up the nonsense. Well, have a good night, and see you guys Sunday.